Give us the how's the Fight Island experience so far? I mean, is this the future for you, or is this a one-time only thing? What do you
This
think?
is like more boring than the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, at least I knew what I was getting into. I mean, like this is like a big tease. At least being on Ultimate Fighter, you're kind of locked down and you knew you had nowhere to go. But to see everything that this island has to offer, and you're locked down to the hotel in your room, it's kind of boring.
What's it like for you? I mean, being the main event, like in this situation, right? I mean, the main event, like it brings on like so much added attention and so much media, but like this is different, right? So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
At this point for me in my career, I feel like it's a good thing. I feel like it's something that I need. I mean, it kind of sets the stage for me to go out there and perform and move my career to the next level. I mean, at this point, I can't blame it on what other fighters are doing or not doing. I can't blame it on politics, thing like that. I feel like it's up to me to go out there, get the job done, and then things open up for my career down the road.
Is it still just wins? I mean, or is Magny going to start, talking trash to people?
I try to. It just doesn't work for me. I mean, especially this fight with Mike Chiesa. I mean, like the dude's super humble, super nice. For me to go out there and try to talk trash, I just look like an idiot. So at the end of the day, I'm just taking that pressure on myself. It's about me going out there and performing to the best of my abilities and pushing myself. So if I can push myself to the point of exhaustion and things like that, I know for a fact there's not another man that can stand it with me. So that's where my focus is going into this fight.
You had a fantastic year last year. I mean, comeback fighter of the year, and a lot of people. I mean, what do you think was the key? I mean, was it something physical? Was it something mental? Was it something tactical? What was the key?
But there was a combination of all those things. I mean, mentally, physically, tactically. Like, I had to make some changes in my training camp. I had to make some changes in my lifestyle and that kind of thing. I got some much-needed rest. I mean, I had 60 months where I wasn't able to fight, so that kind of forced me to go to the gym and kind of sit down with my trainers and that kind of thing and focus on recovery and focus on how to get better as an athlete. So I think a lot of those things showed my fights in 2020.
Nice. I know you have a lot of respect for Mike as a person. How about as a fighter? What do you think about his game?
Man, it's like at this point he's a game competitor. I mean, he has 3 fights at welterweight so far. He's undefeated. We had 2 similar opponents thus far. Conor we both beat, but he got the finish. RDA beat me. He beat RDA. So I definitely have to respect his abilities at welterweight right now and know that he's a pretty tough opponent. But at the end of the day, that's the kind of fight that excites me.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, this would be a big win for you, right, in a headline spot, starting out the year. What do you want with this? I mean, do you feel like, you've been around for like 7 years now? Do you feel like it's time for people to start talking about you as a real title challenger?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like a dominant winner of Mike Chiesa definitely puts me in that top 5 of the division. I mean, the best part about it, it's only January. So if I go out there and get the job done against Mike Chiesa, I'll be fighting a top 5 opponent within 2 months from now. So I'm definitely excited to go out there and get this done.
Michael Chiesa gave an interview on our site, and he said that after Hamza fell out, he just thought you would get the bump up. Leon, was there any talks in that?
So there was rumors that I was supposed to be an alternate for Leon versus Khamzat for a bit, but that just kind of never came through. When Khamzat fell out of the fight, I mean, there was pressure from my coaches and training partners like, hey, get the Leon fight, and I was just sitting there for a second. I had to think about it. I was like, well, if I start pushing for this Leon fight, I'm pretty sure Chiesa will start doing the same. And at that point, the ball's in Leon's court as far as who he chooses as an opponent. And if I were to push too hard, then it'll end up being either Mike or I falling out of a fight and sitting on the sidelines while we're both trying to accommodate Leon Edwards. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut, so to speak, and just kind of hoped that UFC would keep both Mike and undercard and potentially bump us up the main event, and that's what ended up happening.
And then you mentioned a win here would get you in the top 5, but it seems like a lot of people in the top 5 aren't booked or they're not active as much. So are you willing to keep fighting behind you just to stay active in this division?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I literally said I'll fight number 8 through 1 to get my title shot, and the fact that I'm fighting in January, I can very well do it this year. So I'm ready for it. I mean, whoever UFC throws in front of me, last year's show, the whole call-out thing does not work for me. I mean, I thought I had a fight in my hands from calling someone out. I was like, oh, hell yeah, it's finally paying off, and it fell through. So at this point, I'm just going to fight my way to the top.
Can you remember anyone calling you out?
Dude, I mean, when had this one come out at this point? I mean, literally seems like every other welterweight fight, the top 15 or even top 20 at this point, I'm getting called out left and right. So I'm here ready to answer these calls. So if you guys are calling me out, make sure you're ready to actually fight.
Why do you think it's always you as opposed to anyone else?
I couldn't give you a reason. I mean, the cool thing is I get called out often for guys that are trying to break the top 15, but I've never been called out for a rematch. So with that being said, I'm mostly doing something right.